Did you guys hear about the workers who died at that factory, that Impact Plastics factory, a couple of days ago during the hurricanes?
No,
Oh
this is
no, bro.
news to
I
me.
was in that hurricane, so I
Hmm.
didn't hear a lot of other
Yeah, that's right.
like
That's
I
true.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, well, all right. So it was in Tennessee, and I'll put the story right here because I have an article and a video that absolutely had to share with everybody. And so let me get this off the ground right away. Okay. So the headline is Family of Factory Worker Who Died in Helene Flooding Files Wrongful Death Suit Against Employer. The East Tennessee company that saw at least 5 of its factory workers swept away in flooding from Hurricane Helene now faces a lawsuit from the family of one victim asking for at least $25 million. The wrongful death suit was filed Monday against Impact Plastics CEO Gerald O'Connor. Impact Plastics, led by Mr. O'Connor, chose greed over the safety of its workers, the complaint states. The deaths caused by Hurricane Helene's flooding were not just tragic, they were entirely preventable. The lawsuit was filed by the family of Johnny Peterson, who was working at the factory September 27th, shortly before the storm pushed the river over its banks, turning the area and the around the factory into rushing rapids. In all, 11 plant workers were swept away by the floodwaters, and only 5 were rescued.
Wow.
Peterson and 4 other employees were found dead after fleeing the factory and being swept away. One worker, Rose Andrade, is still missing. We are still actively searching for her today. The search and rescue told CNN email on Wednesday. The lawsuit adds crucial details. So, yeah, it's basically what it sounds like, that the hurricane was coming. The factory said, no, we're staying open. Get your ass to work. And people died as a result of it. So, already pretty bad, right? I mean, you don't think
Hmm.
that it's not a whole lot of complications here, but amazingly, the CEO of Impact Plastics released a statement, and I have got to show it to everybody here. This is just
You see how
I'm
my
just
eyes just went wide because, like, I can only
oh
imagine.
right, it is incredible, and I've got to let you guys. I'm not even gonna add commentary. We're just gonna let this roll that beautiful bean footage. Let's get to this.
I'm Gerald O'Connor, founder and president of Impact Plastics in Erwin, Tennessee. Due to death threats against me and my family, and to reduce the stress on local law enforcement that now needs to be focused on recovery operations, I'm with you by this video. The flood of September 27th took from our Impact Plastics family some great employees. One was a personal friend of more than 30 years of working together. We are heartbroken, as you are, about our loss, and will keep those who have now passed in our hearts forever. Following that day, I ordered an immediate review of the events and the timeline of what occurred that morning, beginning as soon as the last surviving employees and a count of those who are missing were addressed. With help from the National Guard, we were able to help secure the rescue 5 of our employees by helicopter. Today, we share that preliminary report with the public. The findings are that employees were told to leave the plant at least 45 minutes before the gigantic force of the flood hit the industrial park. There was time to escape. Employees were not told at any time that they would be fired if they left the plant. After checking to make sure everyone was out of our plant and to rescue important files, I was one of the last people to leave the plant and luckily escape. To our knowledge, no one perished while on company property. My company will cooperate fully with the inquiries from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Tennessee Occupation and Health Administration in days ahead. For now, our focus is on our employees. Thank you for your hard work as we all try to recover from this tragedy. I fell in love with Erwin and the people back in 1987 as a home for Impact Plastics. My plan is to build back our business in this town that I love as quickly as we can and offer good jobs again to the people who live there.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it to Kathy first here. I just want to put one comment in here that always suspicious whenever your CEO refers to your job as a family. That's always the dead giveaway that something's gone terribly, terribly wrong, and they are out to screw you more than you would even guess. What were your thoughts after hearing that amazing statement? I'm sure that's going to cover everything up for him.
You see the scribbles. Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, great.
Oh, like the fire burning in my little like Liverpudlian soul right now. Okay. Important files over 5 employees, like important files. I want to set him on fire. Okay. So the first thing I wrote down was he looks like a Gilded Age goon.
Oh, he does. He does.
Okay?
This
like
Tammany
a
Hall ass
cartoon.
motherfucker.
Exactly, like a political cartoon from the 1890s, right there. Which appropriate because
it's
that's
honestly
the last
surprising
fucking
he
time.
wasn't wearing a top hat. Like he looked like a dude who would have
Honestly,
rocked a top hat.
I had that thought when I was. I had the exact. I'm like, where's the fucking monocle, right? Like down to the double chin on only one side of his face. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that man, and I don't even know his name.
Boss Nast. He's gonna be. That's who he's gonna be. We might as well go with that. I wanna. Before throw it
Only
to John.
nerds laughed at that. You know,
Well, hey, only cool people laughed at that.
That's
Kathy, so
true. We had friends in high school. That's 100% true.
The books, our degrees keep us warm at night.
I had so many dates, like so many.
He also, when you're ever saying the last surviving employees, also not a good sign. Whenever you got to utter that phrase, that's also a pretty big red flag. And
Not
Jesus
like
Christ,
I was among the last to escape. Like motherfucker, fuck
oh
up. Like, I'm gonna
yeah,
stab you in the face.
I don't even believe he was there. I don't believe he was there at all.
Yeah.
And I also want to say the balls that this guy has to say, we told them 45 minutes before the flood hits that they wouldn't. Oh, you got it written down. They wouldn't get fired if they left. Like, it's like what? Okay, it's. Oh my, John, go ahead. Go take it away. I know.
There are so many sentences in that statement that are dead giveaways.
Yes,
this guy is guilty. Like there's so many. In fact, like this is why you should hire PR, because someone wrote out every sentence of that statement
and approved it.
and approved it. And they wrote out the sentence, "No employees perished on company ground."
Oh, I know.
That's a good thing to have our CEO saying on camera and intentionally put out. Like, oh my God.
While playing the victim himself. I lost a friend.
I lost a friend. Oh my God.
You are the reason you lost a friend, sir.
So it's not just this specific company and circumstance. This shit happens all the time. Where, technically, we didn't say people would be fired if they left. And anyone, and this is the thing that just blows my mind, how people still get away with this shit. It's like, we've all worked for companies.
Yep.
We all know that you can't just leave without permission. It doesn't matter if they say you'll be fired. The implication is always you will be fired, or at the very least disciplined. So unless it's kind of like a consent, unless you get an enthusiastic yes, you're staying at the fucking company. You're not leaving. The company needs to provide enthusiastic get the fuck out of here.
I like that. Enthusiastic, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And if they did that 45 minutes prior, first of all, they didn't do that. You know how I didn't know they didn't do that? Because claims he's one of the last people to leave. First of all,
exactly.
What the fuck you mean you were one of? Like what captain leaves people on his ship before he goes down with it, you motherfucker? Second, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. I know.
45 minutes. I wouldn't have had him come into work that day. There's a fucking hurricane.
That's yes. Why are they working the day the hurricane hit? What was so goddamn important that you needed to squeeze another 5 hours out of these people and give them 45 minutes to race out of work, hunker down at home, make sure their family is safe? Oh yeah, that's plenty of time. I'm sure you all live right across the street. I'm sure it's going to be perfectly okay. I just the time to escape. He not only did he say, I told them to leave 45 minutes before the flood hit. He said everyone was given ample time to escape. Clearly not. Clearly not. Everyone was not given it. And I'm also
he's literally victim blaming.
yes,
He's like, well,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry these people are too
100%.
stupid to leave. That's literally what he said.
And
After we
now,
told them they couldn't.
yeah, no, right. And now, and when Kathy, when you repeated the statement that, or John, which said that no one died on company grounds, I actually hadn't thought about this until just now.
I'm sorry,
because
no. I want to be very specific. He didn't say no one died. He said no one perished. No one perished on company. That made it worse for me.
yeah,
Drop the SAT word, you know?
yeah, right, yeah. It was that it was a flood. Their bodies were carried away. So I was wondering, it's like, because when I first heard that, I thought, oh, they got caught in the flood trying to get away. But no, it doesn't necessarily mean that, because if you were caught in the flood on company grounds, your body would wash up miles away in the flood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it is amazing what we let companies get away with, like what we let bosses, like the fact that this is even legal actually it's probably not. Honestly, that's why the lawsuit, the wrongful death lawsuit and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, God bless those families trying to get that 25 million. They should get the company. Honestly, the company should belong to them now. Split it up amongst those 5 families, because the fact that this is allowed to happen is just monstrous. Now, I've known, well, Kathy, you can speak to this a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So people who work in areas that are hurricane prone. So I knew someone in Houston once, and she worked at an aviation company, or they plan routes for aircraft. And so they needed to work during the hurricane because, just because they're shut down doesn't mean the whole airline industry is. So they essentially just moved the business to a more secure location, like the necessities. It was like a hotel or something, because hotels are very stable for hurricanes. And they moved them there, and they paid for their hotel fees, and they stayed there for a week while the hurricane hit, and they could still work. And like, what have you seen stuff like that in areas that are hurricane prone?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like that's like, to those of us, like, that's why I wrote down 45 minutes with just exclamation points, because it's those of us who live through hurricanes a lot. Like, you notice how like Floridians reacts to hurricanes very differently. Like, it's not a Cat 3, I don't give a fuck, right? Like, I'm gonna play outside, like I'm gonna stand in the hurricane and go roar, like we do that for real.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't lived until you've shotgun a beer in hurricane winds, just so you know. But that's why we're the way we are. But so like, so to us, like, that sounds even more absurd, right? Because 45 minutes is not enough time to pack up the things you need to take with you to evacuate, let alone evacuate, right? And even if it was, even presuming that like they had their cars packed up and ready to go in 45 minutes, okay, go. Do you know what traffic looks like before a hurricane?
Oh, God.
Like, traffic is so bad before a hurricane that sometimes, like, they always cancel tolls because they just want, like, any fucking road you can find, use it. I don't care. Like, you just go, right? I've seen hurricanes, like, during Irma, since the entire state had to evacuate, they closed down the southbound lane, essentially, and opened it for northbound traffic. So they just opened the entire highway and said, get the fuck out, okay, and go that fucking way, right? And that is what we all kind of did. So I heard 45 minutes, and like I think that is his grand jury indictment. He just like wrote, recorded, and released to the public what the prosecutors will play in that wrongful death. I don't think it's I don't actually know, because I'm stupid. But like that, they're just gonna play that in front of a grand jury and be like, "What do you think?" And they're gonna be like, "Yeah, go. That's good. We're good. Go, just convict him. Do you want us to be on that jury too?" We'll just skip a lot of like processes here. Just send some fucker away.
We'll save the state of Tennessee a lot of time here. Let's just clear this up, right?
Because they need the money for other things right
exactly.
now.
Oh yeah, this is, I don't know. I saw that literally like a couple hours ago, and I had to share that because with you guys, because that was just some.
Before we close out, I just have to say, maybe if I was this is why I don't understand like rich people, right? Like, if I owned a plastics company, like I gotta have money in the bank, right? And I'm that old, and I look like the fucking satanic spawn of a walrus and a lima bean, and 6 of my employees die in a massive flood, I'm just done. Like, just like, you know what? I have the company. I'm done. I'm good. I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this anymore. That's my retirement. I cannot believe this guy's like, you know what? I want to rebuild. What the fuck? Rebuild your face, bro.
Yeah.
It's hurting.
Yeah, Kathy and I were talking about that right before you hopped
Yeah,
on,
literally.
John, about personal vanity and how big part it plays when you do social media all the time,
Mhm.
and how I'm not above it at all.
Mhm.
I take a lot of care, and we were talking about how a lot of creators, I'll hear them say something like, "I don't really care how old I look." Well, good for you. I absolutely do. I care a lot about how I look. I care a great deal. So I'm sure your medal is in the mail for being a better person than me, but my vanity means quite a bit. So if I had, I should look up the net worth of this guy and find out how much money he has. But that's a good
What's
point.
his
It
name?
always, I don't know. Let me see.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I X'd out of the thing, but I'll look it up. But it's Impact Plastic CEO. If you want to see if you can Google his name, find who he is.
On
But
it.
if I had,
Gerald
untold
O'Connor.
millions. Gerald O'Connor, untold millions and millions of dollars. There's no way I'd look like that. I wouldn't look like a human
Right?
Porky Pig. There's no fucking chance at all. I would at least try. So like, what might happen with me is that I'd put a lot of money into my appearance, but all the money would make me really lazy. So you know how like Elon Musk, we'll get to him probably into the show, but Elon Musk, he used to have like, he was balding and he looked all goofy and shit. Now he's got the hair plugs, good call. But he's also was insecure that he was a really frail guy. So he was clearly taking testosterone or HGH, but he doesn't work out. So he has a weird like block shape to his body. That's like the worst case scenario for me, where I would take the medicine but not actually put in the work. But I certainly wouldn't like that dude. I don't care if he was 100 years old. Did you find out his net worth?
I'm looking. Like there's not
I
like
looked
it'll
for
be on the
He's
internet
not big
soon.
enough. He's not famous enough. To
Okay.
Give it
all
a
right.
few hours though. Give it a
Okay,
few
yeah, we'll
hours.
find out.
Hello and welcome to the end of the video that you made it to. And yes, you are right. You clicked on the dumbass channel. So make sure to like and subscribe to it, just like our good friend Stargazer Tim. And if you would like to hear more from our wonderful guest, Kathy, please let our audience know where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Cannon Spotter, and check out my own podcast. It's called Just Buy Less Coffee. It is available anywhere you listen to the podcasts. You will find it. Just Buy Less Coffee. You'll see my face, so you'll know it's me. It'll be great.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Folks, we appreciate you watching the show as always, and encourage you to watch more, because if you don't, we will send one of Elon Musk's creepy ass robots to come hang out at your house and do whatever it wants. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Catch you guys later. All right, good
Well,
shit.
creepy threat.
Yeah, well, listen, we take this